Now let's go all the way east to Prince Edward Island, the Garden of the Gulf. I arrived in the village of Victoria along the Northumberland Strait, and Mercedes-Benz answer to the small wagon, it's the B-Class. This compact, relatively light and fuel-efficient vehicle was first introduced in Canada about 3 years ago, and 8,400 of the first generation were sold. Now it's been freshened up and restyled for 2009. Well, the first thing you ask yourself is, why did they bother? I mean, what kind of facelift is this? It's virtually identical to the previous one. You know, they changed the plastic bits, but nothing significant on the outside. But on the inside, it's a different story. You know, you're paying the big bucks here for so-called entry luxury, and you want to enter into something luxurious. And I can tell you, this cabin is a beauty. I mean, they've really figured out their interior design nicely. It is comfortable. Most everything is just where you want it, with one exception. This is called Find the Windshield Wiper Control. It's buried. It's behind the steering wheel. You can't possibly see it while you're driving unless you turn the wheel and you'll fly off the road. You've got to reach around like this to find the controls. Stupid place to put it. And then this is the cruise control. Windshield wipers, turn signals, no, cruise control. It's got me bamboozled. However, apart from that major blunder, I do think the rest of the cabin is a thing of relative beauty. And here's something else I like, the hatchback. Hatchback, good. But price, bad. You know, they've started these things under $30,000, $29,999, $99, but you get into a Merc for 30 grand. However, they sell you, they upsell you. You add some luxuries to this thing. The one I'm sitting in is $42,000. Well, I mean, for a Matrix-sized vehicle, I just think that's too much. Under the hood of the standard model is that four-cylinder, 136 horsepower engine. It pushes you along fine. If you want a little more oomph, for $4,000, they'll slap a turbo on the thing, and then you get 190. But you don't need it. Now, that engine I showed you is down low. It's down here. But look, the floor is up high. So that means if you smack into something, the engine is going to go under you, not into you. It also gives you a nice high driving position. The sandwich concept, they call that. You don't have to worry about traffic jams or squeezing into tight parking spaces in this little town. But if you did, the B-Class would be well suited. It's not the cheapest small wagon on the market, but it is the least expensive way to own something with the status of the Mercedes three-pointed star. This car was designed in Europe for Europe. They don't even sell it in the United States.
Nope.
It was never intended for North America. Why is it suitable for Canada?
Well, Canada, we've never had that aversion to the design of this car. We haven't had aversion to hatchbacks. We haven't had the aversion to wagons that the Americans traditionally have. So this car, there was never any question that this car was right for Canada, even if it wasn't right for the U.S.
Yeah, I like it. It's also, it has a lot of technology in it that, you know, is under the surface. What do you think is most important about it?
For me, it's the safety aspect, the sandwich design of the car, the sandwich concept, we call it. The engine's actually mounted at a 45-degree angle, so what that means is that in the event of a frontal collision, the engine will actually slide right along the firewall underneath the car. There's no chance of it intruding into the cabin.
And also, I tried to skid it off the road, and it wouldn't let me do it.
Absolutely not. We have our electronic stability program, cornering brake control, steer control. Very hard, especially in winter conditions. You have to really try to get the B-Class out of line. There's so many safety systems working seamlessly behind while you're driving that it's very much difficult to get this car out of line.
It's a compact vehicle, and you say you sell them under $30,000, but for $29,999, I mean, nobody'd buy that. It doesn't even have an automatic transmission. Why don't you bring the price down?
Why don't we bring the price down? Well, we're already priced very competitively against the premium competitors that we sell against, the Audi A3, cars like that. We're in line with other premium entries like the Mini Clubman, the Volvo V50. So we feel we're very comfortable where the B-Class is positioned in Canada.
But I'm right and you're wrong because you only sell 3,000 of these things a year. You should be selling 10,000, 12,000.
But we
put the price down, you would.
But we outsell every one of our main competitors. Absolutely.
But yeah, Matrix. You know, they'd sell 100 times more.
Certainly, and if Toyota was our direct competitor, I would certainly agree with you. But we will never aspire to that kind of volume with the B-Class in Canada, definitely not.
The B-Class has been a surprise hit for Mercedes in Canada. It shows how a wagon designed for the high petrol prices of Europe can catch on over here when our fuel prices start to soar. After the break, something new from Toyota, but don't call it a station wagon.